Hey y'all, so I'm doing a watch me work and I finally get to show you guys a application on some longer nails. Now, the reason for that though, I feel like the majority of my clients are short to medium length. I have maybe a handful of girls who get their nails at this length and that's it. So my choices are limited, okay? Now I am trying to open my books up for more new clients, and hopefully with those new clients I'll get some ladies who want long nails. And I have nothing against short nails. I know that longer nails aren't for everybody, especially when it comes to work and whatever you do. But I think just as a nail tech, you get to see more of the design when it comes to longer nails. And also, too, I feel like, I don't know if it's just me, y'all, but for me, sometimes shorter nails can be harder because most of the time, they want all these designs, acrylic inlays, and all this on short nails. So you really have to be precise about your application. So for me, sometimes shorter nails can be harder. So for this design, I'm going to be laying my acrylic application as my base, and then when I'm done, I'm going to be doing a gel polish design on top. So when you're doing long to extra long nails, your application does change somewhat. So normally with all of my nails, I do two beads. Sometimes I can get away with still doing that two bead method, but other times I think I go in and I do maybe three beads at the most. So it all just depends on how big of a bead you pick up. So I did want to mention to you guys, I have been using my new brush that I got from Young Nails, and I like it, but it is a size 12 and it is just too small for me. I like to work with bigger brushes. And for my short nail girls, I do use the brush, the size 12, but when it's long nails like this, I have to use my big boy brush. There's no way that, I can get away with using that size 12, especially if I'm trying to do it in two beads. So you can see for this ring finger, I'm just applying the solid white to this nail. And this white is that INM out the door white, and I love it. I've been using it for so long that I just know how to work it. It dries fast, but not too fast. So I like that because you're able to mold it when it's like that. So I went in and I picked up a big bead and I applied it and just stroked that bead down. It was so easy just to bring that acrylic all the way down that long nail. Now I'm coming in with my cuticle bead and I'm just keeping that product in, and then once I get down to where I need it to, I'm just going to blend it out. So for the middle finger, I'm going to take that lavender color and take a really big bead, place that bead at the center of her nail, and then really start tucking that in. And then I'm just going to start walking that bead down. Now, I know you can notice this is a very marbled powder, and that's because it's a self mix. I started out with a little bit of lavender, but I did not want to risk the chance of running out as I was doing the set. So I just took a little bit of white and a little bit of a darker purple and mixed that in with what I had. Now this powder is marble and it's taking a long time to set up. So I'm definitely going to apply this, get it into place, and then leave it to dry and come back to it. So for the pointer finger, this one is going to be a ombre. And like I said, since it's real runny, I'm going to start with my first bead. I'm going to apply that, walk it down, get it in place, and then I'll jump back to the middle finger and let that one set up. So back to this middle finger, I'm coming in with my cuticle bead, and I have that finger pointed all the way down. You really want to be careful when you're working with runny powders and make sure that your finger is pointed down because they will run everywhere. So I'm being super careful applying that bead and then stroking it out. So back to my ombre, I'm going to come in with that same nude color that I used on the pinky, and I'm going to place my bead, and then I'm going to start tucking it in, and I'm going to try to compact all of that color in that one spot. What this does is it's going to give me structure to help with my apex, but it's also going to make sure that I get the maximum coverage out of that nude, and it's not going to be sheer there where I packed it. So once I walk it down, I'm just going to blend it out. So next I'm going to come in with my cuticle bead, and I still have that finger pointed down, and I'm taking that small bead, placing it back there, getting it in place, and then I'm also going to blend that down. That small bead is going to help, of course, cover back there by the cuticle area, but it's also going to further give me a nice fade for my ombre. It's just going to add that extra bit that needed to be filled in if it was sheer anywhere. So for the thumb, I'm starting with my bead, and I'm taking a pretty big bead, and I'm going to place it there at the center of the nail, and then I'm going to tuck that white in, and then I'm just going to kind of let it chill. And I'm going to take this time to clean my brush, and that is the one thing about this white powder. You have to really continuously clean your brush because since it dries so fast, it tends to kind of stick to the brush a lot. So once I have it all in place, I'm going to start walking it down and just making sure that I'm tucking in the sides and making sure that it is all smooth all the way down. So I'm coming in with my cuticle bead, and one thing I love about this powder is that it basically self-disperses. So once I place it there and it touches the nail, I put just a little bit of pressure on my brush, and it'll just self-disperse and fill in that back area of the cuticle without doing a whole lot of work. So once I have that done, I'll go in and just tuck in the sides, smooth it out, and then just blend that cuticle bead into my first bead. So once I have the application done, I went in and capped everything with clear, and now I'm coming in and starting my finish filing. Now, when it comes to finish filing, even with short and medium nails, I take my time with filing, but especially for long nails, it takes me a little bit longer. Now, the perimeter is pretty much not the problem because in my application, I applied it to where those sides are clean. The thing that takes the longest to me, I believe, is the sides when I'm coming in on the top of the body and smoothing it out. You want to make sure that the sides of those nails are blended into the apex. So the apex is where I put most of the product. I have a built up there. So you want to make sure that you're blending that side into the apex and everything is flowing. So for shaping, I really go in and I make sure that I am smoothing everything out. I start with the hand file, and then of course I move on to my e-file, and even after that I'll go back and look at it and further smooth it out with my hand file. I think I prefer the hand file, but of course the e-file is just faster at taking stuff off. But for shaping with the body and smoothing it out, the hand file, you can really get in there and smooth it out exactly how you want it and shape it. So here is the final shape, nice, long, and coffin, and we're going to move right to design. So for this design, I'm going to be doing cow print, and I'm just taking my palette next to me, and I'm going to use that darker purple color. It is by Presto, and I'm going to use my dotting tool to achieve the cow print technique. Now, I've tried using a detailer brush to do this, but for some reason that dotting tool just works better to me. So that's what I use when anyone wants cow print. And I feel like cow print is such a rustic design, like it's impossible to mess it up. I think the only thing is you do not want to add too much. So she has a longer nail, so I can get away with adding, you know, a few, but I don't want to overcrowd the space with a whole bunch of cow print to where it just fills it all up. So you basically want to space it out. And the reason why I like using the dotting tool is because it leaves that little curve at the edge of your design. You see what I'm saying? Like where the dot is, that's where I start, and then I just build from that, and I make sure to have that dotting pretty much basically around my little layer of cow print. So for the ombre nail, I'm going to be creating that edge design. So I'm going to take my striping brush, I'm going to fill it with my gel paint, and then I'm just going to outline the edge of her nail. I feel like, y'all, when it comes to these outlined edge nails, I feel like the only thing that looks good with that is like a coffin or a tapered square. I mean, the stiletto looks all right, but you can really see the effect of the outline when you use those two shapes. So I'm just going in and making sure that I am creating as straight of a line as I can, and I'll even turn her hand around and look at it from her point of view just to make sure that I have all of those lines even. So for the thumb, it will also be cow print, and y'all, I just love cow print. It is a easy design to create, and it's so pretty. I seen another picture where they did the same thing but in orange, and then they alternated the cow print with the colors. So it was a white French with orange cow print, and then they did orange French with white cow print. It was so cute. I'll probably recreate that one for myself because I love it so much. So to finish these nails off, she's going to just add a few bling. This client always has to have bling, so I love doing her nails. I typically don't have time to record because I know she's going to take me a minute. So most of the time I don't have no room for error. I got to get it done when it comes to her. So I'm so glad I was able to share this set with you guys. Let me know, are you guys still loving the cow print, or is it time to let it go? Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in another video.